Adriana, you have such a beautiful voice. Do you consider yourself a country artist, a gospel artist, maybe a little of both, or maybe none of that?
Actually, no, I consider myself a bona fide country music artist. Absolutely. Now, did I grow up singing in the church some? Yeah, yeah. That's part of my background. Grew up singing on Sundays in the church choir and things of that nature. But I really cut my teeth singing in the local honky tonks and in front of my grandparents' fruit market. That's where I got my first gig. I was like 8 years old, but I was out there playing. So yes, no, I am definitely a bona fide country artist.
You have a new song, Halo, out right now, but who are some of the musical influences you had when you were growing up?
Oh yeah. So my grandparents loved country music, especially my grandfather. And so he would play like some of the old standards all the time. And he put that love of country music in my father, who also used to play a lot of country music for me when I was growing up. So a lot of my influences come from like Patty Loveless. I used to listen to her all the time. My dad was a huge Patsy Cline fan. I mean, what country lover wasn't Patsy Cline fan. Alabama, my dad used to listen to that stuff a lot. George Jones, and but me, I really gravitated to some of the women that had like a more fierce sound in their voice, and they really had something to say. So Patty Loveless is right up there as one of my all-time favorites. That I grew up listening to her music and wanting to sound and sing like her.
What inspired your song, Halo?
Actually, Halo was inspired by real life events. So I usually take my writing from personal experiences and or experience that maybe a friend or a family member went through, or just something that I'm really passionate about. And so I feel like I have something to say about it, so I'll write about it. But Halo, unfortunately, comes from a almost a real life story, with the exception of the end part of the story. She did not end up running her husband over. However, she did end up leaving him and leaving him in a pretty bad condition. So that's as far as we're gonna go with that, but that's where Halo came from.
I was going to say it's very Dixie Chicks Goodbye Earl.
That's what a lot of people say. And I actually forgot about that song. And I forgot that how much controversy that song spoke like struck up. I remember it. And I was just like, oh wow, they're gonna get in trouble for that one. But people really love that song. And so honestly, I wasn't really thinking about the Dixie Chicks when I was writing that song. I was more so just thinking about the experience. And we also put out a video with that song, and I wanted people to understand like how difficult it is for someone, it could be man, woman, child, it doesn't matter, in an abusive situation, and how difficult it is for them to get out and how scary it is. We got a lot of backlash from some people. Some people flat out just didn't want to play the video. They're like, it's violent. I said, well, you know what? Domestic violence is violence. Okay. I was like, and what we get here with Adrianna Freeman, you're going to always get three chords and the truth from me. And so that's what my music is going to show. And that's what the videos that I make are going to show.
I was going to say the video is so powerful and beautiful. Did you work on the treatment for it, or did someone come with you and say, look, this is how I'd love for your video to go?
Actually, no, I had this in my mind of what I wanted this video to look like and also what it was going to be. Matter of fact, when I was in the studio cutting this song, I had the mindset of I want this churchy feel in the end of it, because in the video, I wanted, usually when people get in trouble, what do? They run and they go tell their mom, their grandparents, and, they run to God, or they run to their pastor, or running somewhere. And so I wanted to show that this woman had recognized that what she had done was not the right thing to do. But she did it, and then she went in front of her church, and, she was praying for help and strength to get her through that horrible ordeal. And so yeah, I had that in mind as we were cutting it. And that's why you have that churchy element in the back with the choir and all of that. So yes, all of this was already planned out.
What's your songwriting process? Is it the same every time where you think of like a lyric and then you craft a beat around it, or is it not always the same way?
No, it's not always the same way. I don't really have a process. I just need to be inspired by something or, be mad about something. I wrote another song. I ran out of whiskey yesterday and I wrote that I was mad about something. And so I put it on paper and put it out because I want people to know exactly how I felt about things. But for this type of writing, you have to kind of dig deep. You have to kind of get a little quiet. And so what I did was is like, what do I want this to sound like? And so once I hear that melody in my head, then I'm able to craft words to the melody because I already kind of have it planned out. And then I'll sit down with my guitar and terribly pick out notes and chords and things of that nature, just so I can put something down so that real musicians can play the song because I am not a real guitarist at all. I am not. But that's how I play. That's how I write music.
How much of a say do you have when it comes to the production side of the music you make? I love the tempo and the beat to Halo.
Yeah, actually that again was me. I went into the studio knowing exactly what I wanted, and I didn't want anyone to try to talk me out of it. I was like, nope, this is how this song's gonna sound. And so I wanted to trust myself. Also, a lot of people don't realize about me, but I've been out for a long time. And I just went silent for about 10 years. So, Halo, I ran out of whiskeys. These are my first releases in about 10 years. Yeah. So that's what I tell people. I was like, I went in the studio and I wanted to do it my way. And I was like, you know what do I have to lose? Let me just take a chance. How bad can it really be? Now, it was the toughest thing I think I've ever done in my life because, again, I am not a quote unquote, real guitarist and, all these really fabulous musicians that are out there. I am not one of them. I sing, that's what I do. I stay in my lane. But yeah, it was actually one of the hardest things I've ever done, but the most rewarding thing I ever done because I got exactly what I wanted.
It's good because you get it what you want and your heart is satisfied.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And that's exactly what a musician wants, right? We just want our art to be out there and we want to be able to move a person. And for me, I like to move people positively. And so that's what makes me do this. That's the only reason I do this is because I want to create art and I want it to be my art. So yeah, it was, like I said, the hardest thing, but the most rewarding thing.
Well, with I Ran Out of Whiskey and now Halo out, is there a full album or an EP you've been working on?
So we have a full album. This girl has been very busy for the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. And so now we're just starting to get this music out. That's how long it took me because I was going to do this myself. But yes, so we did a whole album, 10 songs. And so we're releasing singles. We do have a new single coming out really, really soon. I am super happy about it. If you guys loved Halo, honey, you're gonna love this one. This one is a full-on story song. I mean, it's got some Delta blues in it. I mean, it's got me singing in it. Y'all know my voice now. Y'all know this girl can sing. So that's what we're doing on this one. It's called The Price, and it will be out January 10th.
Will there be a video to accompany that one as well?
Oh, of course, of course. Matter of fact, we're already like in pre-production for shooting that video. This one is a strong, strong storyline too. It really is, but it won't be as long as Halo was because we had to set Halo up to get people to understand what was happening in there. We couldn't just start it off with the girl being beat half to death. You know what I mean? We had to. So this one's a little bit different. It's gonna start out right away, and it's gonna take you guys down to the crossroads in Alabama, and it's a good story though. I can't wait for people to hear it. I am so proud of it.
As I said, you have such a beautiful voice. Is there someone you would love to collaborate with on a song in the future? Could see you with Mickey Guyton at some point, maybe.
Maybe, but no, I got my sights on Luke Combs. That's who I have my sights on. That man can sing. He can
NASCAR is
sing.
amazing.
I mean, listen, that ain't no love in Oklahoma. Listen, no, yes, sirree, yes, that is who I have my eyes set on. So yeah, I mean, I'm open to a collaboration with him today, right now. Sign me up.
What would you like to say then to fans and supporters of the beautiful music that you do make?
Um, keep following me. Please keep streaming. Please keep listening. Please keep calling these radio stations who don't want to play independence. Call them and tell them that, hey, you know what? There's a girl out here who really deserves to be on this radio station. Can y'all please give her song a spin? Because we cannot do this independence. We can't do it without the fans. We absolutely cannot. It's very, very hard and competitive out there. I mean, you got the majors out there and we're just these little tiny fish out here in this big old ocean, so we're really trying to make a mark for ourselves. So yes, I need my fans to support me. That's what I need you guys to do. If I post something, like, comment, share, stream, share, that's what I need you guys to do for me.